No, the mics went okay as they just not a lot of energy.
Are you hosting?
Tried. Yeah, I was hosting. You know what?
You and Energy are fucking
No,
hand in hand.
but I was the only one.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, actually, I will say this. You know what really is annoying, and I feel like you guys would appreciate this. You know when a mic is going shit, and you're like, oh yeah, I don't care. I'm just gonna fucking, everyone else is sucking, and then the guy right before you just destroys.
Yep.
Like lights out, and you're like, oh okay, so it's just that I'm a shit comic, and this guy fucking kills.
Yep.
Yeah, you start blaming everything else except like what you wrote down. You're like, this fucking room sucks. It's raining. That's why I'm bombing because it's raining.
Yeah,
Fuck.
Yeah.
It's the way it's God for some reason. It's everything but what you fucking brought there. No, dude, I get in that mood all the time. It's so frustrating. And especially like you were saying, like you're going up towards the end. There's like two people after you, and like you and everyone before you just bombed, and you're like, well, it's everything but me.
Yeah.
And then like
at least the whole mic sucked. It
yeah,
wasn't
and then like
just
the
me.
last two people are killer, and you're like, fuck, dude,
Man.
this stinks.
You guys did that to me, actually.
Really?
I remember the night that I met y'all. I was at Badger and Jam, and
Classic.
It was me, Nick. I like had just started. I was like 2 months into comedy, and like I thought Nick Dervasla was like a god. I was, and me, Brian, and Nick did 4 mics, and I sucked at all of them. And
wow.
I told Nick, I'm like, dude, I don't want to do this anymore. And he's like, Bigelow, you're good. He's like, Seinfeld says to do fucking 1 trillion quadrillion mics a night, and I'm like, all right, I'm good. All right, next one.
You do a good Nick, by the way.
That's pretty good.
We're all gonna make it,
Well,
guys.
what's going on, baby? and we go, and it's exactly that. Everyone sucks. I suck, and then you two fucking assholes ruin that for everyone and go up and kill. And I'm like, dude, like that sucked. That's so annoying.
No, not for us.
I
That was a good
couldn't.
night.
You say
Yeah.
it like I couldn't sleep that night. I was like,
Yeah.
why did those two douchebags?
I remember that very differently. I remember driving the car on the way home going, that went great.
That was a great night.
I had an awesome time. That's my version of the story.
God, I love doing comedy.
No, you must have caught us on a good night.
Yeah, we got plenty of bad bombs out there. Sometimes I wonder if there's people who have only seen you kind of do bad.
Yeah.
And in their head, they're like, he's bad. Like, Ryan's bad.
I thought that about you too. You guys were the guys I was nervous. I was like, because I did my show, which was dumb as fuck.
The Bo Show.
And then I was like, God damn it, these guys think I'm a fucking idiot now.
I think you're hilarious.
Thank you.
Dude, I'm Team Badger forever, dude. That's the best
That
mic.
place is awesome.
That's the best open mic in town.
I agree. Although, have you been to the Zebra Room?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were there the other night.
It's awesome.
And that's what we needed, dude. That's the best because, like, we after a mic or something, you'd like just sit in a parking lot with the other comics and buddies.
That's
Yeah.
what Badger used to be.
Yeah, and
Where
just
they
we talked for
took
like
that shit.
hours
Have you ever written a joke from that?
from.
Just legitimately, you do a show and then at like 10 and then at 11 you're just hanging out for like 2 hours and you're just like, oh
yeah,
shit.
oh yeah. Like we'll bounce bits and like or give tags. When I'm watching someone on stage, I'm like thinking of tags to give them
Yeah.
and or like what direction I would have gone or like I would have said this, and then I always say like take it or leave it. Here's what I thought maybe, and most of the time they use the tags, which is nice.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there anyone that hasn't?
Yeah, plenty of people haven't. I mean, I've been given tags that I've never used.
I have such a trouble doing that because I always feel like I've done it before and I like always have to like preface it by like, by the way, I loved the joke.
Yeah.
Like the joke was so good. Like I just had a like thought for you, you know? And it's funny because I feel like when I'm in those shoes and someone's like, hey, have you ever thought of like doing it this way? I'm always like, no, I've never thought of that. Maybe I'll like, I've never offended. Like, obviously I'm not freaking like at this stage in my career, like Chappelle or anything. I don't think anything that I've written is like completely sound.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, you can't take it personal. And I used to have that same thought, like why the fuck would they want to know what I think?
Yeah.
You know, but I want to know what other people think about my shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, please tell me. And if I don't use it, I mean, it's nothing personal. It just doesn't fit in the thing.
Yeah.
You know?
You ever get a bad tag though?
Oh yeah.
Where
Yeah.
like someone will be like, okay, hey, I have this idea for your joke. What if at the end of the joke, the guy in your joke poops? What if he poops though?
You're like, what?
And
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
to go. Oh yeah, man.
Maybe.
You have to give them their creds and be like, oh, that's smart.
I'll try that.
Totally try that. And
Absolutely.
and then you try it and it just murders.
Yeah, that too. You're like, fuck.
And
He
now
was
every time,
right about the poop thing.
every time you say the line and it murders, you like get angry. You're like, fuck.
Yeah, you think about that? How you wrote that line off? You thought, I'm above poop jokes. Damn it, they loved it. The
You're
crowd
doing-
loved it.
The whole joke is bombing, and then you're like, and then he poops. Oh! You're like, fuck.
God damn it. Shit. This guy's a comedic genius. And I didn't even know. You guys are both working day jobs, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know what's weird is when you, like, I did Rodney's in New York, and I had a great freaking set. It was awesome, and like all
Didn't
of
they
my
close
friends.
that place down now?
They closed it. It was Dangerfields, and they closed it down during COVID, and then within the past year they reopened it as well.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Wow.
But I crushed, and it was for like 175 people, and Shang Forbes was like the headliner, and he just kills, and he was like so nice to all of us afterwards. Like said I had a nice set, which was really cool. And then like 2 days later, I flew home the next day, and then I'm back, and then a day later, like I'm just wrapping sandwiches again.
Yep.
And I'm just like a human again, and I'm like, this is so. I felt like that kind of like transition is just like so weird every time.
Yeah, that's what nobody talks about is like the peaks and valleys in comedy are so far apart.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing. You'll have like an awesome set one night, and then like within 12 hours, you're like back at your day job. Like, I don't even want to be here. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You go from like feeling like the king of the world to in a very short amount of time being like, I should kill myself. What the hell?
I had a killer show once. I forget where. Probably the Hotel Cafe. I hit every joke the way I wanted it.
Yeah.
Like wanted to hit it, and I got big laughs. And the next morning, I was at work, like unclogging a toilet.
Yep. And you're
I'm
like,
like-
they don't know.
Yeah, they have no idea I killed it last night.
They don't fucking know.
They have no idea I just murdered last night. The opposite is true though. Also, I'm at work and I'm like quiet. They're like, "What's wrong, Ryan? I fucking bombed last night." I'm like, I just slept weird. Sorry. Nothing. Forget about it.
Honestly, that's what's funny about comedies. I feel like, well, at least before I started getting into it, like, you know, I went to my first open mics and I was just eating shit. And I was like, oh, I completely suck. This is not for me. But it's like, I didn't realize that like a lot of famous comedians bombed a lot. Like every comedian ever bombs. But I feel like no one who's not a comedian knows that. Mm-hmm. So like when I take my friends who aren't, like to shows, for instance, they'll see people that I think are magnificent comedians in our realm of people, and they'll be bad and bomb, and then my friends will be like, that guy was fucking horrible. And it's so weird because I'm like, no, he's actually really good. You just like didn't catch him on a good night, you know?
Yeah, you can't score every time.
Yeah.
I mean, there's comics. There's great every comic today still has like rough sets. It's not like a bomb.
Yeah, you're right. I haven't like bombed where I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah,
like
sweating.
Yeah.
I haven't had a bomb like that
That's the worst.
in a while. But
Cue
like
me
I have
going
that
up
too.
tomorrow
Ever
night.
happen
Here we
to y'all
go.
Where you're like, and you're like fumbling every word.
Not in a while, but
Not in a very long time. But like,
Starting out, yeah.
I've been there.
oh god. And then you even address it, and that bombs. You know, when you're bombing, but you're like, all right, well, I'm bombing. I'll address it. That'll get me a laugh. Nope. More bomb.
That's like the easiest way to get out of a bomb too. And like if that bombs, you're like, oh, they even hate it when I'm just a regular person.
Yep.
Like that's like hatred. They're like, no, fuck you. Like you're not even funny when you make fun of not being funny.
Mm-hmm. You address that you're bombing, and they go, yes. Yep.
You ever try to like bomb cocky and like you're up there, you're just eating shit, and you're like, all right, I got these 2 jokes in my back pocket that I know work. Like these have I've done this at the improv. Like this will fucking work. You do it flat, and you're just like, oh, and then you start to sweat. You're like, oh no. You start panicking a little bit. You're like, but that was my ace in the hole. What the fuck?
Addressing it that's bombing 101. That's lesson 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, you you got to remember to do the joke. If a joke starts working, you can't start saying it like as if it's gonna work.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah.
still say it with the hesitance of like the first time.
Shane gave me a really good piece of advice.
Shane
Bianchi.
Gillis?
No, not Shane Gillis. I don't know Shane Gillis. No, different Shane. He gave me a really good piece of advice on that because I was talking to him. I was like, I have a couple of jokes that like they worked really well the first 2 times, and then I
Yeah.
just did them to death, and they just fell off a cliff and stopped working.
Yeah.
And he was like, just put it on a shelf for like a year. I was
Yeah.
Like, I was like, a year? He's like, yeah, just don't tell it for like a whole year, and then come back to it.
Really?
Yeah, just like let it cool off for a little while.
What?
And
Not
you'll-
even a little while, a long time.
You'll write new stuff, and then
Yeah.
eventually you'll be like, all right, let me try this one again.
That is so interesting.
And then you actually do say it like, I don't know how this is gonna go.
Yeah, you forget how to tell it even, so it's like brand new for the first time.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between like a joke that is really good and works and like you just overdo it, like kind of what we're
Yeah.
talking about, versus a joke that you really want to work that never works.
Yeah.
Because like there are a couple
Yeah.
jokes that like I'm in love with and I think it's hilarious. Just every single time, no one buys in.
Yep.
And so eventually you just got to go. Well, I guess I'm just retarded. I guess this joke
Yeah.
is just not funny.
I guess this joke just blows.
Yeah.
But there is something to be said that you personally find it funny though, because I've often found that the ones that I think are funny, I'm laughing at because I do laugh at myself, and then I've noticed when I do them and I'm like genuinely, you can see in my eyes that I think what I'm saying is funny. Like then people sometimes follow, you know?
Yeah, if you're having a good time,
Yeah, people love that.
the
shit.
audience
Like,
will laugh and like you.
Yeah,
If you're really having a good time up there.
that's a really good point.
Also, if you're just up there like rehearsing, even if they're good jokes, if you're just up there like saying the words with no like emotion or expression, or it's like they can smell that on you too.
Yeah.
And it's like you don't even care about what you're saying.
Yep.
You don't even care about your own jokes.
This is something I've thought for a while. Do you think stand-up is conversationally funny? Because I think sometimes it is, but I've tended to realize that, well, the fact that people are at the show and they've had a few drinks and they want to watch comedy and they know what stand-up is, that's what makes it a separate art form from just like, oh yeah, running through a stand-up joke sometimes. I don't know.
I don't think so, because you ever try to say a bit in conversation and it like always bombs.
Yeah.
You know, I don't.
I guess that's just for me. It's tough because then I'm like up and I'm like trying to show them like an act out, and they're like, "What the fuck is going
Yeah.
on?" Right?
Like I don't do that, but I've almost like seen it been done. It's like you need the guy on the stage and the people listening.
Yes.
It's not like it's not a conversation. It's one way.
Yes.
And then when someone gets up and tries to make it a two-way thing, you shoot them down.
Yeah.
It needs to be like, dude, it like the presenter and the listeners.
Yeah.
You can't like explain your joke to somebody.
Yeah.
Like so what I do is, so if someone's like, you got any new bits? I'm like, yeah, I got a bit on water fountains. I don't like do the bit. I tell them the premise of the bit.
On water fountains. What?
It's
Is that a joke that you have? Right?
Yeah. I'm cooking up a great water fountain joke.
That's so funny that's I got a bit on lava lamps.
Just you wait. My water fountain
love-
joke is gonna be big, folks.
Dude, that happened to us one time. We were at this after party after like I think it was like one of Brian's shows, or maybe it was EJ's, I forget.
Yeah.
And then like this drunk chick came up and found out that we were all comics, and same thing. She was just like, "Well, do a bit.
Tell me a joke.
Tell me one of your jokes."
it's
and
so
we were
annoying.
like, it doesn't work like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
She's like, "No, you're so just like drunk chick. She's like,
Yeah.
you're so funny. If you're so funny, tell me one of
Yeah.
your jokes."
You're not being very funny. It's like because I'm not in real life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It
I'm a
doesn't-
dick.
That's not how that works. I'm a dick.
Dude, that's a big misconception of comedians, is that like sometimes I'm so shocked of how unfunny I can actually be
Yep.
off stage.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep.
Like, I'm
yeah,
not-
because you're just a human at the end of the day. Like,
People think I'm walking around with a fucking red nose on.
Yeah, yeah.
Zinging one-liners.
Hey, you want to hear about water fountains?
Yeah, aren't these weird? Look at these. It's like,
With a full clown costume on.
yeah. It's like, no,
Like
dude,
itching your neck.
I'm quiet. I'm a quiet guy. And I when I'm up on stage, I get to say all the things I didn't all day.
Yeah.
That's the
I
thing.
could picture you like that.
I wake up, I speak
All
to
right,
no
it's
people.
fucking water fountain time as you're getting on stage. I've held this in all day.
I did. I did, dude. Like, it's almost upsetting, like how unfunny I can be to like my coworkers. They're like, I guarantee you, there's people who like they're sold that I'm like not funny.
That's surprising to me, to tell you the truth.
But it's because
Every
I'm funny
time
on
I've hung
stage.
out with you, you are very funny.
Well, thank you.
Off stage. And maybe that's because we're friends. Because I know I've had like.
And you're a
that
comic,
same-
that helps.
Yeah, that's true.
But like day to day, I'm quiet.
Yeah, like the coming up with that joke, you don't see the water fountain and go, oh, but and this and now you see the water fountain. You see the water fountain. You look at it, and then not even out loud in your head, you go, that's kind of weird. And then that's
Yeah.
the joke. That's the joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't walk into a room like there's no business like show business.
Just tap dancing all over the place.
Do you write out the bits? Do you write out like the tags and everything for them, or do you just write a word and you're like, oh yeah,
I'll write
water fountain?
water fountains, and then the premise of what's silly about them, and then I'll go on stage and I'll say it the same way my thought was. Like my first few times doing a joke, it's very messy,
Yeah.
super messy. It's like almost like I'm just telling you guys, like, isn't this weird? It's like literally like the hackiest, like, isn't it weird how? And then over time you turn it into a joke.
Yeah.
And then it is a piece of material.
Yeah. It's weird. I heard a comedian who, I think it was Bert Kreischer, on a podcast recently was like, I did this joke and I filmed the special, and then the next week I had like another tag that I just randomly said on stage, and I was like, oh my God, that's
Wow.
so much better, but I already filmed the special, so
That
I
would
couldn't
be
even
so
use
annoying.
it.
Yeah, that would ruin you. dude. You would explode at that.
I got hot.
Do you have like OCD with stuff like that? I feel like.
It's not, yes, I guess so, but not, yeah, actually, it may be so.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm like an OCD guy. I just like, there's a way to do something.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do it that way.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I know what you mean.
That's why people say like, you don't post clips. It's like, I can do that better. I can say that better. I'm not going to post this. Why would I post this clip?
Yeah.
It's not good. I'm not going to post it.
Also, have you ever killed and then watched the tape later and you're like, I think I could do better than that even, you
Yep.
know?
That's every
We're
set,
in, we're in the moment and like I'm leaving stage and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have like clips galore. And
Yep.
then I get home and I watch it and like I'm like, oh, my voice makes me want to fucking kill myself. And then like everything about it, I'm like, no, this is not like everyone told me it was a good set, like whatever, but I'm like,
And it
just
even
something
was-
about it that like I can't sit with, you
It's
know?
because, first off, it's because it's you watching you.
Yeah.
That's
true.
number one. But also, and people forget, stand-up is a live thing.
Yeah.
You are
Yeah.
supposed to watch it live, in the moment. There is, like, yes, that's crazy you brought that up. I have had, like, kill sets in packed out rooms,
Yeah.
and I'm, like, on stage, and I know it's good.
Yeah.
And then you walk off stage, but then now you're looking at a phone, and you're looking at you. The feeling isn't there.
Yeah.
There was a feeling in that
Yes.
room that's what the kill was.
It
And now
takes-
you're looking at a fucking iPad, looking at yourself. You're
Yeah.
like, it's gone.
I know.
Stand up is a live. You're supposed to watch it live,
I know.
and it's supposed to be like one and done. Like,
Yeah. Okay, that was it.
That
And
was
now
my thing. Good
move
night.
on.
you're not supposed to fucking look at a clip 100 times. I don't know.
You've been thinking about this.
I have a lot of thoughts.
He's in the shower. The fucking clips.
Right. But that's the way it is now.